DC Vigilante here, and I want to talk about Vigilante. And I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about comics. I'm, in the DC universe, there is so many vigilantes, and but I want to talk about just two in particular, and that is Batman and Green Arrow. Who would you say uh, sums up being a vigilante the most? Who would you say was the most hardest, meanest vigilante out of the two? And the reason why I asked this is, of course, we're watching a TV show just now, and I've still to watch the final season. Right, the final season's not on. I'm still making my way through the previous one, and when he's just joined the cops, the police force, and stuff like that, and they're making the pros and cons about either working for the police force or working as a vigilante, because there's the sister, half sister out there. And of course, one of the books that I read, and I bought most of the Kevin Smith run on, and was it Jude Hill or Jude? Also done a run on the Green Arrow series. But this, The Rise and Fall, originally published as Justice League Rise and Fall Special. Green Arrow is a fugitive from justice, having killed the villain Prometheus in revenge for the destruction of Star City and the murder of his former sidekick's young daughter. Meanwhile, Arsenal must come to terms with not only the death of a child, but also the loss of his own right arm. And we see that in a lot of, the TV of Arrow, and how, 1 minute he's not killing and then the next he is, and he started off killing, and I think back to the Batman series, the Odyssey, and whether he's trying to decide should he kill and everything else, and then in one bit of the paragraph he talks about that he would, if necessarily, to save those people that he loved, he would kill. But again, is that vigilantism? Because really, the only thing that Batman does, and by the way, I'm a big fan of Batman, right? But the thing that Batman does is, yeah, he works in the shadows. He doesn't, I think vigilantism is people that work outside the law, really, don't they? They work outside the law, and anybody that works outside the law and takes law into their own hands is a vigilante. But my question or theory is, who's the hardest? Who sums up vigilante law? We have Batman that will kind of break bones and everything else, and make them talk, injure them and stuff with the batarang or whatever weapons, or with his hands and feet and stuff like his fists. And you got Arrow that, slings arrows at you, fires arrows at you that will go right in, same as the batarangs. But to point an arrow at somebody and let go, I mean, it's precision, same as a batarang. But it all goes down to, and you can throw in Batman versus Superman into the mix. And all the Batman films, from Tim Burton stuff, and, we've always talked about it. Even the Christopher Reeve Superman, you get these heroes, and death is there. They have killed before. We could argue the point that Superman didn't kill in Superman 2, but believe me, when he throws the guy down at the bottom of, the well in Fortress of Solitude, you can't tell me, that how, I know there's probably a scene out there where they all walk away in handcuffs and stuff like that, but it's breaking the hands, but it's all in the mindset of where they are. And when you read books you know, like that, and it starts off with you know, he kills Prometheus right to the head, and because he's given no option. You know, this is a guy that's destroyed a lot of lives, and you wonder to yourself, you know, should that be a burden on your soul to take? And we look at Man of Steel. Was that the right choice for him to kill Zod? And for me, yeah, of course, because you know he would not have stopped. Zod would carry on killing people because he has no purpose, and it made it clear. Sadly enough, there's a lot of people that watch Man of Steel that don't get that. This guy would have carried on killing. He has the powers of Superman. Superman doesn't have a team behind him to advise how to get rid of this guy. This guy's escaped the clutches of the Phantom Zone, so he has to sacrifice that bit of the soul to take him. And you look at books like Identity Crisis, where Superman turns his hearing off when they realise they just lobotomised, you know, Dr. Light or something like that. And he has to turn his head the other way because he knows maybe that's for the greater good. He doesn't, of course, condone it, or he doesn't have to agree with it, but there's a part of him that says, well, maybe they're right and I'm wrong. So it's really, for me, are all superheroes vigilantes in a way? Because you got Superman. You've got Superman that goes into all these other countries and he flies about, probably in the air, which is controlled by the government, which is breaking laws, flies over to other countries, which is breaking laws, which you've basically seen in BVS as well. You know, he intervenes where he shouldn't, so that is him bringing his own form of justice. So in a way, you know, Superman is just as much a vigilante as Batman. We can dress it up, you know, we can dress his actions, because Superman has been known to solve crimes and everything else as well, try to find the killer, even though it's not his job, so that deems him a vigilante. And he's not letting it, you know, so many different comics I think you can spin it around to him being a vigilante. So then we look at, you know, and then as I say, Green Arrow they're always arguing, as it's Flash in that comic book, he's sort of never really liked Arrow in this story. You know, it's impulsive, and I'll see if I can see his name. What is it? Is it here? Well, it's in that book anyway. It's in that book when they discover, Flash and Green Arrow discover that Green Lantern has actually killed. And Green Arrow is definitely not going to stop when it comes to... Where is this sodden thing? Yep, we have it here. Sorry about the delay. We have a scene here where the Flash tries to stop Green Arrow. And he says, every time I see you, you remind me why I don't like you, Green Arrow. I've never understood why Hal was ever friends with you. It's over. Super speed is kind of useless if I know exactly where you're going, Barry. And that's kind of weird. It's a contradiction to the TV show. The fact that, you know, Flash and the Green Arrow are not necessarily friends, but probably a lot of you already sort of know that. And when you look at the Dark Knight Returns, you know, there is no love lost there between Batman, Green Arrow and Superman as well. So I've came to a conclusion, you know, being a vigilante in the DC universe, there is no clear-cut winner who is the ultimate vigilante for the DCU. That spittle came out there, sorry about that. Unless you totally disagree, unless you believe it's just totally Batman, or unless you think that somebody else. I mean, there are so many characters. There's Wild Dog and stuff like that, and you know, Black Canary and stuff. People that work outside the law, and again, that includes Superman. So, does that make every superhero a vigilante, taking the law into their own hands? But what I want to know is who's the one that if you looked at Marvel, the Punisher. I mean, he is no superhero. He is a vigilante. You know, he is. And there's probably characters. I remember a character in DCU. I can't remember his name though. I had a couple of comics of him. And he has like 2 guns and a pair of sunglasses. Cannot remember his name. He knew Batman. He's been featured in that. So it's not clear cut. You know, let's think of the Justice League movie. Teen Titans. You know, is there anyone really that plays along the law? Is there any superhero plays along the law? But who is the guy that goes that extra mile? Well, we could say Batman as well. We could say Batman because in the Dark Knight Returns and stuff like that, you know, he forces the police to chase him. You know, bring me down. I'm the one that's supposed to have killed Two-Face. I can take it, you know, and come after me and stuff like that. But really, he didn't really kill Two-Face. Where if you think of Green Arrow, he probably did. You know, he would have probably fired that arrow and suffered the consequences. And you know, there's been a lot of similarities between Green Arrow and Bruce Wayne. You know, rich millionaire and having to avenge and survive and everything else. So it's working in the shadows or whatever. So let me know what you guys think, right? And share the video or whatever. I just want to get a poll going, right? I'm not too sure if I can do this in this video, but probably the amount of people I get, the more people I get, well, I'll sum it up, I'll count whoever is the most vigilante out of the DCEU. And if those people out there that's listening to this that knows every sort of DC character, there is also a DC character cowboy called Vigilante. Should he be should Jonah X be considered to be the most vigilante? You know, who's the most hardest, tough as nails, that sort of, you know, protrudes vigilantism out of the whole DC EU, and we'll count out. And so whoever you think, just leave their name down in the comments below. Thank you.